Welcome to Royal Daily Report, your #1 source for breaking royal news and exclusive investigations. I'm your host, and today we're covering the most shocking claim in modern royal history. This is a story that will change everything you thought you knew. Don't forget to subscribe to Royal Daily Report and hit the bell icon so you never miss our breaking coverage. Lady C just dropped the most shocking bombshell in royal history because, according to her, one of the biggest royal mysteries of modern times has been hiding right in front of us. Archie lives in the United Kingdom, not in California, not in Montecito, not under the bright American sun where the public has been told he is growing up. He lives in Britain. And more disturbing than that, he lives there with his mother, who is not Meghan. That single sentence changes everything. Because this isn't just a question of location, it's a question of identity, of truth, of whether the story the world has been told for the past 5 years was ever complete at all. And here's the part that matters most. This claim didn't cause laughter. It didn't cause a clear denial. It didn't disappear in 24 hours. Instead, it caused something else entirely. Silence. And silence, especially at this level, is never an accident. Every mystery has one question at its center, the kind that refuses to stay buried no matter how carefully the surface is smoothed over. In this case, the question is simple enough for a child to ask. Where is Archie? Not where is he supposed to be? Not where have we seen pictures of him, but where is he really? Because once that question is asked, everything else begins to fall apart. If Archie truly lives in the UK, then why has the world been shown a different picture? Why has his life been presented as American when the claim suggests it never was? This isn't about privacy. Privacy is quiet. Privacy is absence. This is about something else entirely. This is about control. Make sure you're subscribed to Royal Daily Report for more exclusive investigations like this one. Hit that subscribe button now. If you want to understand any royal mystery, you don't start with emotion. You start with dates. Dates don't have opinions. Dates don't care about stories. They simply exist. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were married on May 19, 2018. Archie's birth was announced as May 6, 2019. That places his conception around August of 2018. Roughly 3 months after the wedding. On paper, this looks simple, but context changes everything. August 2018 wasn't a distant or unstable period in their relationship. According to the story the public has been told, it was the golden phase, the intense beginning, the time when the couple couldn't be separated. Meghan had Harry's full attention emotionally, physically, constantly. This is important because it tightens the story instead of loosening it. If they were truly stuck together during that period, then how does another woman enter the picture at all? How does a separate pregnancy happen? How does a child exist outside that relationship? The timeline doesn't solve the mystery. It makes it sharper. It leaves a narrow gap, not wide enough for comfort, but wide enough for possibility. A thin doorway where something could have happened quietly, something that wasn't meant to be seen. And once that doorway appears, it cannot be unseen. Because when dates refuse to behave, stories start to fall apart. And this is where our investigation truly begins. Once the timeline cracks open, the mysterious behavior steps in and makes it impossible to ignore. If Archie truly lives in America, then Harry's actions don't make much sense. He returns to the UK again and again, not for long stays, not with celebration. These trips are short, tight, and guarded. He arrives quietly and leaves just as quietly. When he speaks about Britain, there's tension in his voice. Not anger, not nostalgia, something heavier, something unresolved. This doesn't look like a man visiting a place he escaped. It looks like a man being pulled back. Pulled by responsibility, pulled by connection, pulled by someone he cannot talk about. And then there's what we don't see. No ordinary family outings, no spontaneous moments, no casual everyday photos of father and son together in California. In a world where everything is documented, the absence becomes louder than any photograph. Because when someone is truly present in a child's life, it shows naturally. You don't have to stage it. You don't have to explain it. Yet here, everything feels managed. Stay with Royal Daily Report as we break down this shocking story. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more exclusive royal coverage. And that brings us to the next layer of the story: motive. This is the first possible explanation and the most emotionally explosive. In this version of events, Archie is Harry's biological child, but not with Meghan. Instead, the child is supposedly born to another woman in the UK shortly after the wedding. A mistake, a secret, something that wasn't supposed to happen. For many people, cheating is about betrayal. But in this story, the deeper wound isn't cheating, it's replacement. For someone like Meghan, this wouldn't feel like Harry simply broke trust. It would feel like he created a life without her, a bond she didn't control, a connection she couldn't touch. That kind of wound usually ends marriages, but this one didn't. Meghan stayed. And that choice tells us everything, because staying doesn't always mean forgiveness. Sometimes it means leverage. If this scenario were true, staying married would give Meghan something far more powerful than anger. A secret. A secret that could never disappear. A secret that keeps the balance tilted in her favor. From that moment on, the marriage wouldn't be about love. It would be about control. You stay, you keep the image, and you never forget what I know. But this is only one path the story could take. There is another explanation, one without betrayal, yet just as disturbing. In this second version, there is no affair at all. Instead, the story begins with a plan, a surrogate in the UK, a controlled pregnancy, an arrangement approved by both Harry and Meghan. Everything neat, everything agreed, until it wasn't. In this version, the surrogate does something no one expected. She keeps the child. There's no scandal, no cheating, no dramatic exposure, just a quiet outcome that changes everything. Archie remains in the UK. Harry is biologically connected to him. And Meghan never forms a bond because a child she didn't carry, didn't raise, and doesn't live with holds no emotional weight for her. No attachment, no instinct to protect. But for Harry, the child is still his son, and that creates a quiet war. Harry wants access. Meghan wants control. Every visit becomes a negotiation. Every UK trip becomes permission. Every absence becomes a reminder of who holds the rules. Different origins, same result. Archie stays in Britain. Harry moves between two worlds, and Meghan manages the story the world is allowed to see. Don't miss any updates from Royal Daily Report. Subscribe now and stay informed on the latest royal revelations. Once the idea is introduced that Archie may live in the United Kingdom, a new problem appears immediately. The images? Because if Archie is truly in Britain, then every image showing him in America becomes a question mark. Not proof, not confirmation. A question. Why? Because appearances only matter when something needs to be shown. If a child truly lives with his parents in California, there would be no need for precision, no need for distance, no need for shadows. Turned backs, cropped frames, or quick glimpses. Children are messy. They move, they interrupt. Yet, every image of Archie in America feels controlled, still carefully timed, carefully framed. And that raises a quiet but dangerous question. If Archie's real home is the UK, then what exactly are we seeing in America? Sources present three explanations. None are comfortable, none are ordinary, but all exist for the same reason: to maintain an image. The first possibility is substitution. A child actor, a stand-in of similar age and appearance, used briefly, never long enough to invite close inspection. The second possibility is simpler. Another family's child, a trusted friend's toddler, quick shots, hats, turned backs, distant angles. Toddlers are easy to disguise when you don't let the camera linger. The third possibility is the most disturbing: digital manipulation. Photos taken during real UK visits. Images later inserted into American settings. Backgrounds changed. Locations suggested, not proven. Each explanation sounds extreme. But here's the problem. If Archie is not physically present in America, one of these explanations must be true. The story doesn't require belief. It requires logic. And logic is where the discomfort lives. This is the part of the story that never settles, no matter how many times it's looked at. Why has there never been a normal family outing? No park photos, no random supermarket moment, no accidental capture by another parent or person passing by. Why is every appearance controlled, scheduled, and limited? Why risk staging anything at all if silence would be safer? Why present Archie as part of an American household if emotional attachment is supposedly absent? These contradictions don't prove anything on their own, but together they form a pattern, and patterns don't lie. They repeat. Every time the story seems like it should settle, something tilts. A trip to the UK at the wrong moment, a photo that feels too perfect, a detail that doesn't line up. The mystery survives, not because of one big secret, but because of too many small ones. Keep watching Royal Daily Report for the most detailed royal investigations. Subscribe and share this video with others who need to know the truth. This is where the story stops being loud and becomes heavy. Imagine a quiet town in the United Kingdom, a normal house, a small garden, a boy with red hair running across the grass, unaware of headlines or arguments or whispers. To him, life is simple. There is a woman who tucks him in at night, who keeps his world calm, who protects him from a storm he never asked to be part of. And sometimes, a man arrives quietly. No cameras, no announcements, no posts. A father who spends time he cannot show, takes photos he cannot share, lives a life the world never sees. Across the ocean, another life continues. Brands are built, stories are shaped, images are controlled. Two worlds moving at the same time, one loud, one silent. And somewhere between them lives a truth that has never been fully spoken. Because if even part of this story is real, then everything changes. Harry's sudden trips make sense. The silence around Archie's childhood becomes louder than words. The control over appearances stops looking protective and starts looking necessary. And the question that began this story remains unanswered. Where is Archie? And why has no one ever answered clearly? Some truths don't explode. They wait. And when they finally surface, they don't ask permission. That's all for today's explosive investigation on Royal Daily Report. This story is far from over, and we'll continue to bring you updates as more information comes to light. If this report opened your eyes, please like this video, subscribe to Royal Daily Report, and hit that notification bell so you're always first to know when we break major royal news. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about Lady C's shocking claims? Until next time, this is Royal Daily Report, bringing you the truth the mainstream media won't tell you. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and we'll see you in the next report.